Hello everyone. This video is about paranormal activity and paranormal encounters that I've had since I was a child, around the age of when I was in 5th grade. Because before anything happened, I did not believe in ghosts and I thought it was silly. But um, when I was younger in 5th grade, my stepdad had bought a house and moved into this house that was haunted. It had ghost activity going on and it had demonic activity going on. Um, Now, it's very clear difference between what a ghost can do and what a demon can do. A ghost can't really do anything except kind of show up and watch. They can't really interact with anything in an environment. Demons can because they're in this world. A ghost is in purgatory, which is in another dimension, but you can see them sometimes. They can come and visit Earth, but they can't do so in a way where they can interact with anything. They can only observe. So when I grew up, when I was younger, one of the first things that happened to me when I was a kid, it would happen in my bedroom that I shared with my brother, is things would just start flying across the room at night, and I blamed my brother for it because I didn't really believe in ghosts, but he said it was never him. And things would just go flying across the room. So if I got hit by an object, I just like picked up the nearest object and whipped it at my brother because I didn't know any better. I didn't believe in ghosts. I didn't believe that demons could do these things, but they can. And another thing that happened growing up in my haunted house was everyone would hear each other's name get called. So, like, I would hear a voice. So we all heard voices in this house. None of us are diagnosed with any illnesses at this point. Um, I would hear my mom call my name, and I'd go to my mom and say, "Hey, what do you want? Why did you call me?" And she would say, "Oh, I never called you. I don't know what you're talking about." And then that would happen too with my brother. He would come to me, and be like, "Hey, my name wasn't Allison at the time." But he would be like, "Hey, Allison, what do you want from me?" And I'd be like, "I never called you. I don't know what you're talking about." And that would happen with every family member in the house. And we would always see one ghost in particular. Um, Somebody who had lived there and had passed away. He was a ghost in purgatory, and we would see him around, usually like around nighttime. Um, you would just see somebody out of the corner of your eye. You would see some body parts, like legs and feet, and start talking to them, thinking like you're talking to your dad or your brother, but it was a ghost, and you were just talking to the ghost. And then when you would look over, there would be nothing there, but you wouldn't really consciously think um, that there was ghosts there because, like, when I grew up, I didn't believe in stuff, but it was real, and everybody experienced it. Um, Some other demonic activity that happened in this house was like if you put your keys on a table and they would disappear, and then you swear you put them there, you look around your house everywhere, you can't find them for like 20 minutes, and then suddenly they appear right where you had thought you left them, and there's no way that they could just appear there after you looked and they were not there, and then they would just show up. That's a demonic activity. So that would happen quite frequently. On one occasion, I like did the ghost hunter thing. I'm like, "Hey, if there's any ghosts here, then show me that you're here." And they did. They turned the TV on and they unlocked the door, and it scared me. And they went out and called my mom. Um, so I don't really challenge ghosts anymore, or demons for that matter, um, because they will show you what's going on. They will do that stuff. Um, when I moved out of my parents' house for the first time and I lived in my own apartment, nothing was happening until I had sex with this guy who had a demon tattoo on him. I don't know what was going on with this guy, but he was a compulsive liar. He was a psychopath. Um, his whole life was made up, and I didn't know any better. Um, I was almost 25 at this point. Um, Me, he was just a nice guy who treated me out for a nice date, and yeah, we had sex. Um, a bunch of weird stuff started happening after, probably because what I did was a sinful behavior, and I shouldn't have had sex with this guy that I barely knew. Um, but after that, some crazy stuff started happening. When I was in the shower one day, the light turned on and off, and then I was like, hey, what's going on? Because I knew there was some kind of activity going on, and then it flicked back on. Another time I was in the bathroom, and I couldn't get out of the bathroom. And this might have been like back-to-back days. And I tried and tried and tried, and I couldn't get out of the bathroom. The door was stuck. And I leaned it all my weight at the time. I was transitioning, so I still had a lot more muscle mass. And I put all my weight into this door, and it would not open until I said something like, cut it out. And then, boom, it opened up. So there was demonic activity going on. And I didn't really think about it because I don't know. I don't know why I never ran to a Catholic church or a priest to get a cleansing or something like that. But it just never dawned on me. So the demonic activity kept growing. When I was asleep, in one instance, I woke up and I saw a bunch of black writing on the wall of my closet door. There was just like a wall full of black writing in this language that I couldn't depict. Some of it was Hebrew, some of it was languages that I don't know. And I just woke up. I knew what it was, and so I ignored it and I just went back to bed and didn't think anything of it. Another night, I woke up and there was a black cat on top of me. And I don't own any pets, but I kind of knew what was going on. And it kept biting me. And I would just pick it up and set it back down, like on my lap. And then it would bite me again. And then I would just pick the cat up and put it back in my lap. Because the best course of action when this stuff is happening is don't show any interest. Kind of ignore it and have like a neutral stance. If the stuff is happening, they feed off of fear and they feed off of negativity. So I kind of knew what was going on. I didn't get any help for it, but I knew how to react to it. And what you do is you don't show any interest. You don't be like, oh, I'm amazed. Like, why is this cat biting me? What's going on? I kind of knew what was going on. And it was really like my subconscious kicking in because I just know how to deal with this stuff. Being an angel, I have experiences in fighting demons as an angel. So I knew how to react on a subconscious basis. And I had this one incident happen when I had COVID. I don't know if it was because I was close to death or something like that, but I had a dream. And oh, I've had other dreams too, but in this instance, I had a dream, and I knew what was going on. The dream was that I was in a hotel, and I opened the door, and there's a dead woman at my door, and she looks like a human, but she's clearly dead, like a zombie, but not a zombie. It was like a witch, who was dead, and I said no when I closed the door, and then like a bunch of demons started coming out of nowhere, and I was like in a state of like dreaming, but I was consciously, and I consciously knew I was dreaming, so I gave myself some guns and I started shooting all these demons until they overpowered me, and I was like, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, Allison. And I woke up, right? And I wake up, and then in my bedroom next to my girlfriend, and the dead person in the dream was right at my feet, and they were shaking my foot when I woke up. And then I was like, I shouted no, and then I woke up again. And yeah, it was like a dream within a dream. It was like an alternate space. So there's different dimensions that these beings exist in, and they can open up doors into these dimensions and kind of suck you into them too. This is how like a succubus has sex with people. So they can take your body, put it into another dimension, have sex with you, and then leave. And this is all happening. It's real, but it's not in our dimension. They like can take your soul into other dimensions. Never happened to me, but this is how this demon or witch in particular could do it to me. I don't know who they were, but they wanted to get my attention. Another time, I had a dream where I was in my kitchen and there was a demon sitting at my table, and they were like cloaked in a shadow. And this demon was like talking to me, and then I started getting consciously aware of what was going on. And the demon's like, "Are you scared?" And I was like, "No." I was. And then he's like, "Well, you just peed your pants." And I was like, "Yeah, I did pee my pants a little bit." And I woke up. But these dreams aren't just dreams. It's like when people have, what do they call it? Sleep paralysis. They're experiencing a demonic activity, but it's in a different dimension. Or when the dimensions are colliding, is when they wake up and they realize like something's going on. Like there's a demon in my room, there's a demon sitting on me, there's a demon in my house. These are all real experiences that people have, and they brush it off kind of like I did. So if you're having any of these paranormal experiences, one, they're not cool unless you're a Satanist, which I don't know why you're watching this channel. And two, it's just not good. Like you shouldn't have this stuff happen in your house. It's not cool. Um, it's definitely not something I want in my life anymore. It's kind of scarred me for life. I always make sure like I have all my belongings in a certain area, and like a ghost isn't gonna move them, or a demon rather, because ghosts can't move things. But yeah, this is just a long video about my paranormal experiences. I've had a few more. Um, Depending on if you made it this far in this video. When I was younger, when I was in 5th grade, um, I had this incident happen to me where I was walking down the street to my bus stop, and this was like a haunted neighborhood because of some kind of thing going on. Um, Native American or otherwise, I don't know. There was just weird things happening. Um, I was walking down the road, and I took my eyes off the street for not even like a second, maybe like half a second. And when I looked back to the road, there was a wolf standing in front of me. And it was just staring at me. And I remember being afraid as a kid and like not wanting to get hurt because there's a wolf looking at me. And I know it's a wolf, and I knew it was a wolf when I saw it. And I just kind of walked around it without taking my eyes off of it. I walked past it. I walked down the street. I turn around. It's not there. I go back to where it was. There's no paw prints or tracks in the snow. It was snowing. Um, it just vanished. And come to find out, this was a witch. Witches can like turn into other creatures. It's kind of like what's going on at Skinwalker Ranch if you watch that show. I love watching that show. What's going on? There's a couple things going on there. It's demonic activity, and there's witches. So, and there's UFOs, which I don't even know. I'm not even going to get into that. But there's demonic activity going on, and there's witches. And around the same point in that street, I heard my name get called a couple times. One time in a very creepily way, because these demonic spirits, they can read your identity. They have access to your soul information, so they can know what your name is. They know things about you. When you go to a psychic and they start telling you all these things about your life, they can get them from demons, because demons can pull that information out of your body. And I'll get more into that when I die. I'll talk about my death experience, my 50th video. So if you made it this far, if you're having any of these things happen in your life, go see a priest, get your house cleansed, go see a priest, make sure you don't have a demon in you like I do, and try to get help for it. Don't just tell your friends or tell your girlfriend you had this crazy experience, or tell your family or something, go get help from a priest, because these things shouldn't be happening in your life, and you should live a great life and not be in fear of like ghosts or demons. I'm not afraid of them anymore, but it left such an imprint in my mind that I do things like I'm watching you, like I'm making sure that my keys aren't moving because I grew up in this environment. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you find my stories interesting, they are very interesting, but if this stuff happens in your life, don't be interested in it, just ignore it. And when I released the video out recently, um, don't like binge watch scary movies that put you in a state of fear. It's not the movies itself that opens the door to the demons, it's your emotional response to the videos. So if you already have demonic activity going on, you don't want to increase it by putting yourself in a state of fear, like when you watch a scary movie or play a scary video game. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.